All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great, geez, what is today? Today's Tuesday already. Oh my gosh. Time's flying by. So Bitcoin was up today, which was nice to see a little bit at least, recovering from where it was yesterday on Monday. Miners were up in the day as well, so that was good to hear. CoreWeave provided their quarterly results. We'll maybe touch on it, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But Bitfarms also provided their quarterly results. There's some interesting tidbits in there. We'll talk about it, obviously. And then we'll get into Q&A, so it should be pretty easy here. I don't have much else for you guys because it took me a while to actually update the spreadsheet for Bitfarms because they've been taken out of the miner sheets that I have, and then I'm creating a new sheet just for the miners that don't report quarterly or don't report monthly updates, okay? So that's kind of where we're at right now as it is. But as always, you guys know the drill. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's get into what happened today with Bitcoin, the miners, and all that stuff. And let's see here. We want to go here. All right. So Bitcoin today was up a little bit, right? It was up 1.19%. It was up to a close at 120,113. So that was good. We're down in the new day for Wednesday here just a little bit. We're down about 0.4% on it as it is right now. Ethereum had a really good day today. Also was pumping really good, up 8.65%. News came out that BMNR was going to be buying another, what was it, 2 billion, I think it was, of Ethereum eventually. I think that's what they're trying to get or raise there. So that's obviously pumping Ethereum stock there because they're going to be buying more, obviously, as it is. But Bitcoin's still looking pretty good nonetheless here. We do have, obviously, some rotation happening, I think, out of Bitcoin into Ethereum and other proxies or other coins as well on that. We'll see how long that lasts here. We'll take a look at the dominance for Bitcoin here in a second. We do have the markets being up today, which was nice as well. We had the CPI data come in kind of flat more or less. So that was a good sign. We'll probably get some rate cuts maybe in September, right? The probability of that happening now has increased. We'll see. So we got good things happening for us here in Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners going forward, I believe. On the miner side of things, Bitfarms, as we talked about, reported their numbers here. They were up 3.25% on the day. Bitdeer was up 3.28% as well. Kang was up 1.43, or Kango. Cypher was down 0.84%. This one's continuing to fall here as time continues on. We'll see if it can bounce off here. I was hoping that would bounce off the 50 SMA, but it hasn't done that here. We'll see if it goes back to maybe like $4 even, right around the 100 SMA on it, and bounces off of that. Right now, it's kind of bouncing off the 200 SMA. We'll see if it can hold that. If it doesn't hold that, then we're going down probably. Cleanspark was up just a little bit here today, 0.51% after being up like almost 4% on the day, and then came back down here. So it's kind of maybe drawing a little line in the sand here right now after the news that came out with the change in the CEOs. CORZ was up 3.9%. On the day here, CoreWeave, like I said, reported. CoreWeave is down after hours, like 10-11% last time I checked. The market didn't like the results, I guess, there. Plus, we have the lockup period ending later on this month, I believe, as well. So that's going to put some sell pressure on that one. We'll see where Core is after hours here in a second. Hive was up 1.42%. Hut 8 was up 4.91%. IREN was down just a little bit, 0.78% after being up 2-3% on the day. Mara was up just a little bit, 0.38. Riot was up 2.97 as well. Wolf was down 2.96% after having a pretty good day yesterday. And then MicroStrategy was down 1.46. Not sure why. Bitcoin was up. It should have been up. Galaxy was down also 2.1. Coin was up just a little bit, 0.94. Let's see, Semler was down 2%. And others were somewhat mixed here as well. Exodus was down 7.5%. Small miners were also up for the most part, except for Digi was down 0.72. DMG was down 148. And then Argo, for some reason, was up 12.26%. Not sure why, but it was. And then the minor ETFs here were up for the most part, except for BitQ being down just 0.25%. The Ethereum HODL companies, BitDigital was up 1%. BTCS was down 1.09%. BMNR was up 5.87%. Game was down 5.6%. And SBET was up just a little bit here, 0.6%. Bitcoin dominance here is down below 60 right now. We're at 59.44 as it is. We were down approximately 1.71% on the day for Tuesday. So that's kind of where we're sticking up right now as it is. The miners here in the after hours right now, Bitdeer is currently flat on the day. And the new day for it, Bitfarms is up another 1.57%. Kango is up 0.4%. Cypher is up just a little bit, 0.2% there. Cleanspark is actually now down 2.2%. CORZ Scientific is down 6% in the after hours, right? That's because of CoreWeave. Hive is flat. Hut 8 is up just a little bit, 0.05%. IREN is up 0.5%. Mara is now down, up. It's up 0.19% as it is. Riot right now is, let's see, down 0.09%. And TeraWolf is up 0.95%. We'll get TeraWolf's earnings done maybe tomorrow or the day after. I have that one, and I think I still have Hut 8 to do as well. So we'll get into those in the next couple of days on it. All right, as far as Bitcoin here for the month of August, we're up 3.3%. Not great, but not bad either. So we'll take what we can have here. We're still in the green. We still have a little bit more time to go. In the month, we're only in August 12th right now, so we have another, 19 more days to go roughly. We'll see where we end up August. I think we'll get to possibly double digits here, around 10%, I think. But that would be nice at least. And then we'll see where September goes. September historically has not been a great month for us. We'll see if it plays out that way again here as it is. Bitcoin miner ETF, or Bitcoin ETF inflows yesterday was positive. IBIT bought 138 million there, so we had 178 million positive inflows. Today we're down actually 45 million as of right now. We'll see where IBIT comes in from BlackRock, whether that is going to be positive or not. I think it might be, but we'll see on that one. All right, and then let's get into Bitfarms here. That's all I got for you guys today. So Bitfarms reported their second quarter 2025 results. I did listen in on the conference call, which was actually pretty good. They surprised me in a couple of things. We'll talk about those things as well, in a good way. So that's good here. So here's what we have. Revenue of 78 million, up 87% year over year. Gross mining margin of 45%, down from 51% from Q2 of 2024. The good thing is master site plan for Panther Creek, Pennsylvania data center campus submitted to Macquarie. Macquarie is the one that's giving them approximately $300 million in loans to build that out, and they need to have the master plans in place. They're reviewing them right now, and then if they approve it, they'll have the access to the other 250 million, I believe, that's left of it. They partnered with data center builder and operator T5 Data Centers to advance HPCI development at its Panther Creek campus in Pennsylvania. So that's good there, right? We talked about that when that happened. Here's what Ben Gagnon stated. There's quite a bit here. So our North American energy portfolio positions Bitfarms to be a leader in HPC and AI infrastructure with over 1 gigawatt in our Pennsylvania pipeline, anchored by flagship Panther Creek campus, which is in close proximity to Amazon and CoreWeave sites. We aim to capture significant market share in what is quickly emerging as a new AI infrastructure hub. With additional energy strategically located in data center hotspots in Washington and Quebec, we are building a diversified, unique, and scalable North American platform of robust energy and fiber infrastructure that is attracting significant interest from prospective clients. So that was good there. Coupled with strong political support for data center development in these regions, our strategic vision and pivot to the United States and to HPC infrastructure positions us as a key player to meet surging demand in the AI industrial revolution, coast to coast. And I do like that they have pivoted to that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. This is from Jeff Lucas, their CFO there. We executed several key initiatives over the last 4 months, including the Panther Creek financing, the commitment to our transition to U.S. GAAP accounting in Q4, the announcement of our second principal executive office in New York City, and the commencement of our corporate share buyback program. And this is really good here. I am proud to report that we've already purchased 10% of all share available under the repurchaser program. So that's actually really good because I was very skeptical of them being able to achieve that. And after seeing their numbers here for what they're generating on a cash flow basis, they can possibly actually buy them all back that they wanted to. Not all shares back, but the percentage that they wanted to buy back. So that's great news there. Continuing on here, it's a testament to our strong belief that the market is significantly undervaluing our shares, which I believe so also. With minimal 2025 CapEx remaining and strong liquidity comprised of a growing Bitcoin treasury, approximately 85 million in cash, debt financing in place with Macquarie, and consistent cash flows from our mining operations, we are well positioned to execute on our HPC infrastructure, share buybacks, and U.S. pivot strategy. And it does look like that. Based on the numbers that I saw, the report, it does really look like that. So I'm happy to see that, right? It seems like they're finally getting in the right, we're going in the right direction after probably a very turbulent year and a half with them. And we still have Riot on our backs there, but we need to get Riot. Once we get Riot off of them, I think things will be even better. HPCI development here. So signed binding purchase and sale agreement for 180 acres of contiguous land at Panther Creek campus, expected to be more than sufficient land for all 3 phases of the campus HPCI development. I probably should have pulled up their slide deck on this. The renderings of the buildings are actually really nice looking. Signed building purchase and sale agreement to more than double the acreage of Washington campus, ensuring more than sufficient land for a full HPCI conversion. So they are looking to obviously convert some, if not all, of their sites to HPCI if they get the customers there for it. Energy portfolio, let's see here. Increased megawatts under active development to 430 megawatts with 100% in United States. Confirmed total multi-year megawatt pipeline of over 1.3 gigawatts, over 80% in the United States, so that's good there. Mining operations, right? This is the one that we've been always interested to hear about. This is also an update on Argentina here. So we finally got an update from them on this. The company determined that it will discontinue operations at its mining operations in Argentina due to the previously disclosed halting of energy supply to the site since May 12th. We've been waiting that long. And future economic uncertainty in the region. The shutdown of Argentina mining operations is expected to be completed by November 11th. Reduction in exahash under management, partially offset by improvement in other key operating metrics, namely fleet energy efficiency, average electricity price, direct hash cost, and uptime. So they are divesting themselves of the Argentina site there. And that was one of the concerns that we had was the the concern with the political system there in Argentina, right? Was it a good thing or a bad thing? Possibility of the stock being not downgraded, but not being what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe not as a price properly or something like that. Because of the belief that there is going to be some issues, and sure enough, there's something that come up from it. So I like that they're getting rid of that. It definitely positions them more in the United States, which is good. And then estimated proceeds from the Argentina shutdown of $18 million through the elimination of site remediation liabilities, recovery of prepared deposits, reduction in lease expense, free termination option, and equipment sales. This is equivalent to over 2 years of free cash flow from Argentina mining operations with current economics. So they're getting something out of it at least at this point. And then they completed all planned Bitcoin mining growth initiatives with an ending exahash of 17.7, an efficiency of 17 watts per terahash, which is actually pretty good, inclusive of Argentina's shutdown. There are no plans for additional miner purchases at this time. Over 25 million in miners being actively marketed for sale. So some of their older machines are going to be sold off. So they got 25 million there. And I think that might include the 18 million that's also in there. So 25 million probably total. So that's good, right? They're going to have more cash to buy back shares if they want to. And other things. There was something else I wanted to say on this. On the conference call, somebody asked them, what are their plans for Bitcoin mining in the next 2 years? Ben did state that they have no plans for further growth. They may actually see a reduction in exahash if they get customers for HPCI and they transition some of those sites over to HPCI data centers. So we'll see if that works out for them. We'll see if they can get the customers, really. As far as Q2 financial highlights here, cash, general, and administrative expenses of $18 million compared to $11 million in Q2, inclusive of Stronghold, digital personnel, and other G&A. Operating loss of $40 million, including non-cash impairment charge of $15 million in Argentina and non-cash depreciation of $37 million, compared to operating loss of $24 million in Q2 of 2024. And then net loss of $29 million or 5 cents per basic and diluted share, compared to a net loss of $27 million or 7 cents per basic and diluted share in Q2 of 2024. So slight improvement there. Adjusted beta of 14 million or 18% of revenue, up from the 11 million or 28% of revenue in Q2 of 2024. And then the company earned, let's see here, 718 BTC on average. Direct cost of production was 48,200 roughly. And then liquidity, as of August 11th, the company had total liquidity of approximately 230 million, comprised of approximately 85 million cash and approximately 145 million in unencumbered Bitcoin. So the balance sheet is really healthy, actually. And they're actually generating enough revenue from free cash flow to continue to buy back shares. So things are looking good, on this, at least from what I'm seeing here right now. They did obviously sold some Bitcoin here. They sold about 1,052 Bitcoin in the quarter. What else do we have here? As of August 11th, the company now held 1,402 Bitcoin. And then during the period from January 24, 2025 through August 8th, the company issued 0 shares through the ATM program. So that's also really good, right? No dilution. Actually, they decreased the number of shares because of the buyback program. So that's actually really good. Realized 11 million in profits, under the Bitcoin One program in its first 6 months. The program is currently undergoing strategic review. Okay, I'm not sure why they're reviewing it, if it's doing pretty good, or maybe it's not doing as well as they thought it was going to do. Nonetheless, they're doing a review on it here. And then here's where we have the quarterly operating performance, 718 Bitcoin, obviously. Mined operating hash rate, now 17.7. They were, as of March, in 19.5, right? So we had a decrease of approximately, was it 1.8 exahash? I'm guessing that's probably from the Argentina site there. Operating capacity, 410 megawatts, 461, so that's down because of Argentina, more or less, I'm guessing. And then quarterly average revenue here, average revenue per Bitcoin was 98,000 for the quarter. Direct cost for Bitcoin was 48,200, so that's up a little bit from 47.8. And then total cash cost per BTC was 77,000, still pretty high. We'd like to see that come down here, and I think it might happen for them if Bitcoin price continues to go up to 150,000, 200,000, whatever it might be. That should be a good sign for them. All right, let's get into my spreadsheet here on them. So like I said, it took me a while to get this put together because this is a completely, well, it's not completely a new thing, but I had to redo the graphs and everything else because we don't have any updates for them for monthly production. So I got rid of those things and I put in a bunch of quarterly data into it here so we can see how they have done over the last 12 quarters, more or less. So I think it's 12 quarters in here. But here's what we have. So shares actually went down a little bit to 552 million. They were at 555 million, something like that. Stock price today is $1.27, so that's market cap of 700 million there. Total assets they have right now is 827 million. Total liabilities 165 million. Healthy balance sheet there. And then assets, excuse me, minus liabilities. And then dividing by market cap here, we get a multiple of 1.06 on their market cap to their total assets if you take out the total liabilities, right? So they're being valued just a little bit above their net asset value, I think is what it's called. Performance over the last 12 weeks has actually been not pretty good, actually. Up 7.8 from 12 weeks ago, up 47% from 8 weeks ago, up 19 from 4 weeks ago, and then last week they were up even 6.9%. So stock has been definitely doing much better here in the last, I would say, 12 weeks or so. Current hash rate, 17.7, right? Future hash rate, 17.7, we know that. Current HODL, 1.4 thousand roughly. That's valued at 167 million as it is. That's 23% of the market cap. And I think that might be one of the lowest in the space as far as HODL to market cap percentage-wise on it. Here we got Bitcoin mined quarterly now. So we can see how they have been progressing over the quarters. Obviously, we had the halving event here that happened in May of last year, right? So we saw a sizable dip there. But they have been able to kind of bring that back up as time has progressed. But now with them not installing any more machines, that should probably be coming down as the network hash rate goes up. The only thing that's going to save them is Bitcoin price going up in revenue, and that's going to drive their revenues up as well. HODL is increasing as well, which is nice to see. They did spend a lot here back in September of 2022 to pay off some debt that they had at that time. But they've been increasing that over the last 11 or so quarters, which is nice. Hash rate has been a nice increase as well, right? We're going to be stuck at 17.7 here. Revenue has been also increasing nicely. They came in at 71.29 here, and that's probably offset here. June 25 it should be for that one right there. I'll have to fix that. So like I said, I was working on this today. Cost to mine 1 Bitcoin minus depreciation here. We're seeing that cost also go up over time, and that is a result of the network hash rate going up. Difficulty as well. That's a function of it. It's just going to continue to go up unless you can actually lower your electrical cost at this point. So then that's not going to happen. Last 4 quarters operating costs, now at 83 million. Don't like seeing that. That's a bit high, but they did buy Stronghold, so I can understand why that actually went up. Debt to equity, lower is better. Still low. 0.25 is really good. Current ratio higher is always better. 3.1, so really healthy balance sheet, like I said. Total current assets, 278 million right now. Total current liabilities, 89 million. Look, things are looking good, right? Institutions here, I did update that today. Last time we updated was back in May, actually, so it's been a couple months since then. That has actually decreased a little bit here to 223. Shares also decreased a little bit by institutions to 129 million, and the percentage owned went down to 24.26%. We still have, we have a slight increase in the strong buy rating to 7 now. We still have 2 buy ratings, 0 hold, 0 non-performance, 0 sells. Price target for the high went down to 4 from the 450. Average went down to 278, and the low stayed the same at $2 here, as it is. Okay, based on what we currently have here for them, looking at the last 3 quarters and the current quarter that we're in right now, I have them between 286 and 429. They're $1.27. Yeah, I think they're undervalued here. If we use the current quarter that they just reported on, which was Q2, multiply it times basically 4, right, to get a full year's revenue picture possibly. I'm in between 310 and 464. Right, with Bitcoin going up, they could definitely get up even higher than that as well. And that's with a PE of 12, so it's kind of giving them somewhat of a discount on it, I think, as well. So probably being even more conservative on them than ever. But yeah, I still think that they're way undervalued on this stuff. Going down here to their quarterly data that we do have here. So I have all the data going back to probably 3-4 years on these guys. We do have, let me see, assets, we talked about that already, 278, right? So that's an increase from the prior quarter. Total assets also increased to 827 million from 770, so that's good. Total current liabilities increased a little bit, 89 million from 85, so that's not too bad. Total liabilities increased about 50 some million here, 53 million, 43 million, 53. 265 million. Big difference is that in the long-term debt, the 50 million there, I think that's for the McGuire loan that they have with them. And what else do we have here? Total liabilities, stakeholder equity, 827 million from 777, so that's good. Revenues here. Revenues, Bitcoin mining increased. Hosting actually increased as well to 2.5. Electrical services was pretty flat there. Energy sales also increased quite a bit to almost 3 million there. So those are all good things. And then the cost here, energy was 30 million. Depreciation was 37 million. Infrastructure expense was 15 million. Electrical component and salaries was 830,000. So that's actually down here. Everything else is pretty much up. On that one, operating expenses, salaries and wages up to 8.1. I think that's because of Stronghold acquisition, right? So that's going to bump them up. Share-based payments was actually down to 3.6. So like seeing that. That has actually been coming down here. So that's good. Professional fees also went down to 4.2 from 5.6. So that's good. What else do you have here? Insurance, duties, and other. That was up a little bit to 3.4. Travel, motor vehicle, and meals was up to 730,000. Definitely an increase there. Hosting and telecommunications was down a little bit. And then advertising and promotions was actually up quite a bit, like tenfold, to 1 million from 118,000. Not sure why that went up so much. Maybe they're just shaking a lot of hands, trying to move the needle for the HPCI possibly. But it's still not too bad, I don't think. Going down here, operating income loss came in at 39 million. Net income before tax, 37 million. Net loss income, 28 million. And then total comprehensive income here was negative 5.8 million, right? 5 cents loss per share. And that's based on a basic and diluted weighted average number of shares was 555 million there at that point. If we take out depreciation comprehensive income, we're looking at a possibility of about 6 cents per share positive there on it. So based on this, what I'm seeing here, things are really looking much better than they were just a year ago. Right, they do have free cash flow positive, about $8 million, I think they said a month on it. So that's definitely helping things out. So free cash flow is really good. They're positive on it. They have a great balance sheet here right now as it is. And yeah, I mean, right now it's just them being able to get an HPCI deal. It's not going to be possibly until 2026 and into 2027 some more, but that's kind of the timeline that they're looking at for 2026 sometime. So we're basically a year out on it. Yeah, so I mean, if you buy now, you're going to have to probably wait a while before anything really material happens. But again, they might surprise us and come out with a deal that they signed with somebody earlier on, and they're just going to get it executed in 2026 sometime. All right, we just don't know. So I like what I'm seeing here. This is a good direction I think they're going in, and we'll see how this works out for them, right? They're not the only ones trying to get HPCI deals. There's Mara's looking into it now as well. You got IREN, Hut 8, Hive, Cypher. Who else am I missing there? Probably BitDeer as well. Pretty much everybody in this list here, except for possibly Cleanspark here. But Cleanspark might change their mind too, so you might have everybody going into it, which is going to be kind of interesting at that point. Everybody's fighting over the same customers there. So we'll see. Overall, I got to look into it some more, but I'm tempted to buy a little bit more Bitfarms shares here. If it stays this low for a little bit longer, I may pick up a little bit more. I got 8,000 shares as it is right now. I may increase that to like 10,000 shares and call it a day at that point. So we shall see on it. All right, that is it. All right, so this new spreadsheet is going to be available to the Patreon members. Link for that is down in the description as well. So I still got Hut 8 that I have to update here, right? Hut 8 still has the old format. TerraWolf as well has the old format, and I got to get rid of some of this stuff that I don't need here anymore on these guys because we don't do the monthly metrics on these guys here, but we will do the quarterly stuff on them as well. So I got some updating to do. So hopefully I'll get at least maybe Hut 8 or TerraWolf done for tomorrow, and we'll get the other one finished up later on in the week as well. So that is it. Let's get into Q&A here, and it's going to be pretty short. We're going pretty good. We're half an hour in roughly. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, as always, questions. If you guys could preface the question with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. I'm going to work my way up as always and work my way down. Be patient. I will get to all your guys' questions. Even if it takes me like an hour and a half like last night or 2 hours, we'll get through it. Okay, let's see here. Underscore L. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, David Hunter called the melt up bull over by January 2026. Okay, so he thinks that we're going to have a major run here in the next 5 months, maybe. All right. Okay, boy, there's a lot of comments. Okay, I'm going to try and get through them all. Okay, we got what's up. We got the kind of communications there. All right, let's see. I don't know if that's me or not. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, Neville. To be specific, it would be the first of 4 to 5 data centers to be built on that campus. I think you're talking about their Panther Creek there. Andrea, thank you so much. Yeah, hit the like button if you guys enjoy this type of content. Let's see. John Kurtz, if Bitcoin hits 180,000, Ethereum will hit 15,000. You know, I might have doubted that earlier on this year, but now with all the buying of Ethereum that we're seeing, it might be a possibility, actually. Okay, Roger's got a question here. BTC, ATC in the heart of the bull run, both at all-time highs, pushing hard above into price discovery, pushing to 200,000. Cleanspark at more than 50% below all-time high, still at $10. What's your next move? I think probably buy a little bit more. I mean, if Bitcoin's at 200,000 and Cleanspark's at $10, I'm out at that point, right? It just hasn't moved. All right, Neville, Seb, has that conference call gave you renewed hope in Bitfarms? Yeah, it has. It appears the deal is likely in 2026. He didn't say in those exact words, but he said so many things that point to it. Yeah, you know, the site I think is going to be great there. They got the master plan being evaluated right now by McGuire. Once that's evaluated, they'll get some more funding for it as well. So they're on their way, I think. They also stated they are clearing some trees right now on that site, getting it ready. So they're moving forward. You know, the buildings that they had renderings of looked great. If they can do those things, that would be a fantastic facility there. All right. Okay. Neville says, when Ben said he expects to have the first data center built and energized by Q4 of 2026, yeah, it's going to take a while to get that done. I mean, you're building out a complete brand new building, so it's going to, I mean, if you can get it done in a year, that's going to be actually really, really good there. Okay. All right. 4-year cycle says BTC at 59.45 dominance. We're on the cusp of the parabolic rally and the cycle ending in 45 to 75 days. So you still think it's going to be a similar cycle like we have in the past, which would then correspond to it being right around there as well. Yeah. I mean, if we have a similar cycle, that would not be good unless the miners really pump fast and hard in the next 45 to 75 days. And Bitcoin gets to like 200,000, that would be okay, and we could sell at that point. But yeah, I'd like to see a different cycle this time around, but maybe we don't. All right, Marcus Bruno asks, will Bitfarms be brought back to the sheet? They are being brought back in a different sheet. I'll make that available to you guys as well. So we're going to have, because that one, I'm going to keep the ones that don't report monthly updates on a separate sheet. We'll cover them quarterly, and any updates that they provide, we'll update it in there going forward. Okay, BJ says, I'm very happy to announce I'm completely out of the miners finally and in the profit, never to invest in them again. Congratulations there. Yeah, I mean, if you got in and still got out in profit, that's good. I'm still in profit in these things, so I'm holding on for a little bit longer. We'll see where we go. Roger says, BMR is too good, man. It's too, like in a bad way too good, or in a good way? Let's see, they are the MicroStrategy for ETH. They are. Definitely does appear that way. All right, John Kurtz, what is your base case and best case for Bitcoin Layer GI? My best case would be obviously 200,000. 200,000 plus would be the best case this year. Base case, I think we get to 150, 180 somewhere around there. Okay. Capris says, truth is nobody knows when the cycle ends. That is true. We'll witness it when we get through it. Neville says, I think we get an extended cycle. I think so too. You know, time will tell on that one. Roger says, treasury companies stole the spotlight away from the miners this cycle. No, not only them, it was also the ETFs, right? There was more on-ramps than we've had in 2021 from Bitcoin. Back then, we only had the Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin miners, or if you wanted Bitcoin, you had to go to, you know, some sketchy exchanges that could have lost your Bitcoin. But there were obviously others that were in there that were great. Let's see here. John Kurtz says, Larry Fink says 200,000 this cycle. Larry is the man. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking also. My original case for Bitcoin this cycle back in like 2 years ago was 180,000. That was kind of my thinking behind it. But with this, with all the adoption we're seeing here, I think we might go to 200,000 plus. I don't know exactly what the plus might be, but I'm thinking plus. All right, Midway. Question. If you have 100 megawatts of power and want to fill its entirety with old 21 joules per terahash S19 XPs, 151 terahash, 3,247 megawatts, how many exahash would you have? Could you put that into your spreadsheet calculator? Yeah, let me pull it up here really quick. Let's see here. Let me open up that sheet. We did that yesterday with another one. I thought it was a similar question from yesterday. I thought maybe you didn't hear it yesterday. Let me see here. Open recent mining calculator. Here it is. All right, so let's go back here. I got to pull this up. Midway, okay. So if you got 100 megawatts, let me put this on the screen for you guys. Oh, no, I can't see it. 100 megawatts. Hey, that's not going to work. How am I going to do this? Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me pull the information in and I'll pull the list up. Q&A, let's go back here. Hold on. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. Okay, 100 megawatts of entirety of 21 joules per terahash XP is 151 terahash. Okay, 151 terahash. And those are at 3.247. Oops, Control Z. 3.247. 151 terahash. 151 terahash. Okay. Right, 100. Okay, so here's the answer on that. That would get us to, so 3,247 kilowatts or watts per machine. 100 megawatts as it is. 151 terahash machines, you're looking at about 4.6 exahash at that point. That's what you could fit into 100 megawatts. Okay, so there's that answer for you. Okay. Brett PG, thanks, bro. We got 35 days left in this cycle. We shall see. You might be right. I'm not saying that you're wrong, because I could be wrong. Nobody knows what it's going to be. Neville says, Bitfarms AI HPC deal inbound for 2026. I feel it in my bones. That conference call was good. Yeah, I like the conference call as well. Definitely instilled a little confidence in me in them. Them buying the shares, I also like that. I was a little hesitant to think that they would be able to buy shares back. But seeing that they are cash flow positive and have a healthy balance sheet as is right now, I think they can continue to do that. I think that would be great. All right. Neville says, August sucks so far. Yeah, but we started out July that way too, and then ended up pretty good. Roger says, I think the cycle is extended due to rates being too high, keeping liquidity capped. But yeah, if we get rates being lowered, that would be great also. Let's see, Roger says, let's talk in 6 months before calling me maggot. Yeah, that's why I say, yeah, anybody could be right here. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see, Neville says, miners with the legit AI HPC operations will weather a BTC bear market. I would agree with that, right? Well, depending when the bear market hits. So if the bear market hits in 2026, they're going to take a hit. But if they also get good deals in 2026, that might prevent them from having a big hit at that point. Okay, let's see what else we got here. All right, Carl says, increase my Bitfarms holdings to, wow, 100,000 shares on the dip this morning. Feel there is some decent upside ahead. Very nice. Okay, D-Royce. HPC clients know if they wait until the next halving, these miners will be begging for a deal. Yeah, but do they want to wait that long? You know, there's money on the table right now to be made if they can get the sites up and running. Okay. Now it says Bitfarms looking like a long-term hold for me. Yeah, it might play out to be that way. See, John Kurtz says Tommy Lee has many different methods to fuel BMNR to new highs without dilution. Kathy would think Bill Miller and other big dogs are backing Lee's treasury. Yep. I was actually toying with the idea today, maybe selling some of the profits that I have in the miners and maybe buying a little bit of BMNR. I was toying with that idea. I still got to sleep on it a little bit, see if I want to do that. Okay. All right. Roger says top is 1 million BTC in 2030. Don't pull a Gareth and pretend you know what's going to happen. I don't know what that is, Gareth. Okay, but I think, yeah, in 2030, 5 years from now, we could possibly see $1 million bucks. All right, Sauer says BTC will run all 2026. That would be an extended cycle. That would be great. Okay. All right, BJ says, doesn't really matter what Bitcoin does or if the 4-year cycle is over. Miners don't care. People don't want to invest in them anymore. They won't do what they have done in the past. A lot of people, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that have gotten hurt with the miners. We'll admit that because they got into much higher prices than these guys, right? Didn't dollar cost average in. And yeah, so that happens from time to time. Okay. All right. Neville says, Bitfarms said they may convert their site in Quebec as well if things go well with AI. Yeah. So something that they mentioned there is they might reduce their exahash depending on the deals that they get for HPCI. All right. Every day with Mommy and Moon. Question, why did Bitfarms wait so long to disclose that they are discounting operations in Argentina? What is Riot percentage of ownership in Bitfarms? The latest ownership in Bitfarms by Riot was 7.2 that I saw percent. So it's getting lower. It might be even lower now as it is. Or maybe they might be holding on to it, see if the price of Bitfarms goes up. Because obviously Bitfarms is buying shares back and things like that. As far as why didn't they disclose it, I don't know. I think they didn't want to put out bad report or bad news without supplementing it with some good news, right? And we definitely got a lot of good news today as well. So I think that's possibly why they did it. Okay, talked about that. Let's see. Neville says, I think Bitfarms should take after IREN and sell all the BTC they mine. They're clearly moving on, and there is a little reason to have a hodl. Well, the reason to have a hodl right now for them, since they do have 1,400 some Bitcoins, is if Bitcoin doubles in the next 5 months. If that happens, you're doubling from $160 million, whatever they have there, to $320 million, right? And then maybe at that point they can use that capital to also fund operations. So I think there's optionality in what they can do there. So I'm okay with them holding, especially right now. Okay. Let's see. Ann says, I would really like to see Bitfarms get over $4. So would I, and so would a lot of people as well. I'm rooting for it to get there. Okay, what else we got here? Neville thinks Bitfarms is going to go up as well, go higher, and yeah, I think it will go higher too. I'd love to see it to get 4, but I'm not well, if they get a deal for HPCI, I think it will get to 4. But without that, we probably will need Bitcoin to be like a 200 some thousand plus. All right, Neville, thank you so much. Make sure you give Seb a like. I appreciate that. You guys are definitely having a strong conversation there with Brett. And that's all right. As long as you guys are cordial to each other, I'm all right with the conversations happening there. Just be nice. Sadie likes Force of Action. Thank you so much, Sadie, as always. Trying to find some other questions here, but man, it's definitely a heated conversation here. All right. Okay. Surendra, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Why Hive Digital is not going up, even its Bitcoin production increased 100%, and they are going to produce 360 BTC per month by end of year. The only reason I can think of right now is their lack of operations in the United States. Everything is outside the United States, right? They got Canada, Iceland, Greenland, or wherever they are up north. Then they got also Argentina and Paraguay as well, I believe. So everything is outside the United States. I think that's the only reason that I can think of right now. Operations are great. Growth is great. Yes, they've been diluting for the growth, but I think all that dilution is close to being done for the operations that they want to get to 25 exahash. I think that's fully funded, I think. So there's really no reason why it shouldn't go up other than them not being like more in the United States, I think. That's the only thing I can really think of. Marcus Bruno says, do you think it is good to add in a row for PE price versus current price, e.g. 0.8? Oh, yeah, we could possibly do that. But you guys can do the math in your head too as well. I'll think about it. That's not a bad suggestion there. Jen Pal has a question. Cleanspark showing 185 million on their 10Q filing, which I think due to tariff fees. What do you think about that? Yeah, that's been covered on X and by Anthony as well. They do have that statement in there that they got a letter from the Border Patrol, whatever that is, that the Border Patrol believes that those machines came in from China. Cleanspark has documentations proving otherwise. I believe that's the case, and so they're going to defend that position vigorously. So would I for 185 million. I would definitely defend it if you know for a fact that the machines came in not from China but from someplace else. So we'll see where that comes in. I think IREN has a similar thing on there as well with their machines, but I think it's a little less. I think it's over 100 million, but I don't know exactly the number there. I saw that as well. So yeah, we'll see what I think that's going to be worked out. I don't think. Well, that's what I think, but we'll see. Okay. All right. I got, looks like a spammer there. Okay. So whoever this is, please contact me for financial advice. Please do not contact that person. That is not me. And let's see if we can I block that person? Let's see. There it is. Okay. Let's see, we will hide user on this channel. Hopefully that doesn't hide me as well. Go to channel pin, message report. I want to report it. Unwanted commercial content or spam. Hate, promote terrorism, harassment, misinformation. Yep. All right, we'll do that. And then let's see if we can. Okay, so he's gone here. Hopefully he's blocked. Okay. So yeah, be vigilant out there. I will never ask you guys to, for private financial advice or anything like that. You get my thoughts and feelings on all this stuff all the time, right? It's never financial advice on any of this stuff. The only thing I ask of you guys, if you want to participate in the Patreon group, you get access to my spreadsheets. So that's all I provide. Neville says, Ben said there's nothing preventing them from inking a deal now other than the deal-making process taking a long time. That was wild. Give my bones a chills. Let's hope he truly follows through. Yeah, if they can do that, it'd be great. All right. Kaz, question there. Bitfarms $6 sometime in 2026. Still holding 200,000 shares. Wow, man. You guys definitely have me beat on there. Some of you guys are holding 100,000, 200,000 shares. That's awesome. $6. If they get a deal, depending on the deal that they get for HPCEI, and Bitcoin's at like 200 some thousand and it continues to go up, yeah, I think they could get to $6. I could see that. Okay. Jen Pell, question. I see you had Cypher CEO on space. Can you try to get Cleanspark CEO on space? Ernest and I are working, well, Ernest more so than I am, along with another wonderful lady there that we have helping us out. We are trying to get Matt Schultz on one of these Sunday night shows. We'll see if something does plan out there, but I'll let you guys know if it does. Right? That'd be great to have him on. Definitely love to pick his brain a little bit. As far as where does he his vision of the company going forward? Has there been any changes in their mindset on HPCEI? What is their continued growth going into 2026 potentially? Right? Where are they thinking of going next? Okay, talked about that. W Song question: what is your thought on Cleanspark CEO exit? I think he was let go, and then they give him an option. You can walk away nicely and calmly, or we're going to oust you out, right? So I think he decided to go the easy way because there's a statement in that press release that says the, the board members saw this something like this time as a good opportunity to change management or something like that. So it seems like they wanted him out. But I like I said, I like Matt a lot. I've dealt with Matt in the past as well. I've reached out to him, and he's always been very cordial, very nice, and to respond back to any of the questions that I had. And he's also been more out there with the community, especially on X, and even on YouTube as well. He's been more front-facing for the company, more so than Zach has been. So I know where Matt is at on his thought process a little bit, but we'll see if things have changed a little bit with him. But I like Matt. Matt's been with the company a long time as well. He's one of the co-founders there as well. So I'm happy with that, right? They didn't get somebody else from the outside. All right. Gary Pallett's got a question here. How did IREN map out a plan in 2018, buying the best HPC sites and purchasing a data center company while others changing direction every 6 months? Are Dan and Will Roberts time travelers? They might be. They have done a fantastic job. Got to give it to them. All right, DeFi, what's going on? Miners always up in the start of the market and then sell off. Are ETFs and Treasury just sucking up all the liquidity? Partially, that's partially the reason there. I think it's just Bitcoin being flat, right? Bitcoin's up 190,000 as it is right now from where it was, but still not a major move on it. We need it to go slightly parabolic here in the next couple of months, and I think that would help out with the miners as well, because you have the price of Bitcoin being flat and the network hash rate increasing, right? So that is never a good thing. All right, Classic K Drama Clips asks, Sebastian, why is Cleanspark so lagging and stuck at $10 range? Is it a good time to DCA into Cleanspark? I think they're undervalued, to be honest, right? They should be doing much better. It's been the other miners that are getting to HPCI have gotten more love. And with them getting a new CEO now, that might change things for us going forward. Right, I was a little bit disappointed they couldn't get the positive EPS without the FSB impact in the prior quarter, but they were close. So we'll see how they do. I'm still holding on to a bunch of shares there. I'm holding on to it. I may actually buy a little bit more if it goes, if it goes below like $9 or something like that. I may buy into it because they're still going to 60 exahash this year, and it's still a really good operator there. DeFi says, I'm really frustrated with the miners' price actions this cycle. It's just horrendous. And for all people that say, well, they're up 700% from bottom. Well, 99% of the folks didn't buy at the bottom. Yeah. I got in before the bottom and after the bottom as well. So I averaged down on these guys because I was buying in beginning of 2022. I didn't know where the bottom was going to be. So being able to dollar cost average in has helped tremendously to where I am profitable. I'm not up 700% on these guys. I'm up 100, 140, 150%, right? Somewhere around there, depending on the day. So that's still really good, good performance. My goal has always been to outperform the S&P 500. If I can do that over a couple of years, and these guys end up being up 200, 300% up for me, that's going to be a job one, for me at least. Would have been nice to get 10x on my money. Heck yeah, but getting a 2, 3x on my money is still really good. Okay, Victor C. Question, do you think BMR could hit 400 this cycle? That, I don't know. I was trying to do some math on it today to see if let's just say, I was trying to do the math here. Here's what I was trying to do. I was trying to do if Ethereum went up and price doubled, basically, and if BMR doubled their number of Ethereum as well at the same time, what would the stock price be? And I was using dilution at that point, right? So the early math that I did on it, if we had just Ethereum go up double from where it's at right now, and they didn't buy any more Ethereum, their stock would go up to like 100, possibly. If we're using the 1.3 multiple that they're getting right now on the MNAV, their stock would go up to possibly like $118, something like that, I think it was. If they doubled their quantity of Ethereum as well, but they diluted because of it, the stock would get to like 110. So it's kind of like but that was, you can play with the numbers on it to see what was the average price that they bought in at. That would reduce the number of dilution there, but they could also do other avenues, convertible notes or something like that. But that's still dilution down the road. I don't know. So in that case, getting it to $400 would be like, Ethereum would have to go up like 4x, 5x, maybe even 6x from here, maybe at that point it could hit it, right? Just based on the value of the Ethereum there. I don't know. I gotta run some more math on this. DeFi, are you still bullish on Cleanspark? Yeah. If you had fund, is Cleanspark your number one buy for miners? If you had the fund, okay. Cleanspark would be in there right now. Man, I have a lot of. Well, I already have a lot of Cleanspark and IREN, as you guys know. I have a little bit of Bitfarms as well, and Mara is very, very low in my position right now. Based on what I'm seeing here right now with Cleanspark, I think it would be I mean, that's, I don't know. That's a tough one. It would be between Bitfarms and Cleanspark right now for me, right? It's kind of like, can I get at least a 2x from here if Bitcoin goes to 200,000 on Cleanspark? I think there's a possibility of it. That's kind of the way I look at it. If I can put in some capital into it, can I get a 2x on it at the very least from where the price is right now? And I think that's the case. So you got to look at it that way, I guess, is what can you get out of it in the next couple months possibly? Could I do a 2x on it? Bitcoin getting to 200,000, yeah, I think that would happen, right? Could do better than that, but if you can get at least a 2x, it wouldn't be too bad. Let's see. S says, yeah, somebody impersonating Sebastian in the chat, cheeky boogers. Yeah. So be careful out there. All right. SH says, watch out, guys. We might get an HPC announced soon in Pennsylvania, Washington, or Toronto. We might. We'll see. Sour Gaming says Bitfarms is poop. They've done They have done a great transition into the United States. I would say that. All right. Let's see. It says 90% of the move with the miners comes in the last 10% of the cycle. Just staying in. Okay, nice. See, my girl, instead of BMNR, what would I recommend instead of BMNR? There's a couple of them in there as well. The next one, I think, I'd have to look at it as far as what the hodl position of those guys are. But I think there's one, I think it's BTCS that has an actually negative MNEV multiple on it. But I got to find out why that is, right? They do other things as well instead of just having a hodl position of Ethereum. So I need to see if their operations are concerned there, and that's why it's a negative, or not a negative. It's under 1 multiple on it. DeFi says Ethereum is going to crash hard with all these treasure companies buying it at these levels. If it drops below buy point, thoughts? Well, that was always the concern with MicroStrategy, right? MicroStrategy's numbers, as much as he was buying it, the concern was going to be that if Bitcoin falls below a certain point, they're going to go belly up. That didn't happen there. So I don't think it's going to happen with Ethereum as well. I think these guys are going to be holding on to it because they're getting yield on it, right? Well, yield. They're getting staking rewards. So I don't think they're going to be selling anytime soon here. Classic KD. Drama Clips asks, Sebastian, why did IREN purchase 240 Blackwell GPUs back in July? Are they wired up and running? They are not. Not right now, I don't believe. They're going to be once Horizon 1 is up, I believe. But they're still working on... I don't want to speak out of... I don't know. I don't know on that one. I know that they plugged in some H300s, I think those were. I don't know if those were the Blackwells on that one. Okay. Okay. Bitfarms is saying Scrubgrass can surpass 500 megawatts alone. That's if they get the interconnects, and I think they're working towards that. But that's questionable, right? All right. Gary asks, what do you think of CoreWeave earnings? Are they going up or down? Well, after hours are going down. I would have to look into them some more. One of the things that I saw was that they're running low on cash, I think. So there's going to be either some dilution, some other ways of funding or anything like that. So maybe that's a concern there. I don't know. I got to look more into it. DeFi says miners won't do anything this cycle as Ethereum and Treasury companies sucking up all the liquidity. Thoughts? There's more on-ramps for people to get in Bitcoin. Yes, I agree with you there. I still think that Bitcoin goes on a nice rally here and a consistent rally, that the miners will do pretty well. They still could possibly 2-3x from where they are as long as Bitcoin gets to like 200,000. I think that still might be the case. And maybe better, maybe they might do better. I don't know. But I still think that there's a chance for us to do good here. I could be wrong on that, And we'll find out in the next 5 months. Gary says, question, not sure holding and going more to the ATM is a great idea at $1.25 for Bitfarms, huge dilution of shares. They're not going for the ATM, right? They haven't used the ATM since, what do they say? Like last couple of months, they haven't used the ATM at all. They are cash flow positive, which is nice, about $8 million a month or so. They have no further operation expense later on this year, so they don't really need to dilute, really. So, and they're buying back shares, so I don't think that's the case. All right, Midway's got a question. If you knew for a fact that Cleanspark was going to end 2026 at 90 exahash and BitDeer was going to end 2026 at 150 exahash, would you consider rotating some of your Cleanspark profits into BitDeer? Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know. BitDeer, I've said this before, I'll say it again, I'm a little hesitant to get in them because of the ties with China there a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I've always said to myself, I will not invest in companies that are in China or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a huge difference though. 150 exahash. Could they do that in 2026? Maybe. I don't know. I know that they're generating their own machines, but that'd be a lot to definitely plug in. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Ed, question not BTC related. You mentioned before that you are subscribed to Gemini. Is it the only chatbot you are subscribed to? If yes, why did pick this one over chatbot or ChatGPT or Grok? Thanks. I do have Grok as well. So I have both of those guys, Gemini and Grok. The reason I got into, well, I first got into Grok actually, that's because I use X, right? So it was just kind of like one of those things. I get a blue check mark next to my name. I have that, plus I get access to Grok, right? So that was kind of like a no-brainer. So I did that, and I started using Grok as well for certain things, and definitely love it. It's gotten a lot better since the time when I started first using it. And then Gemini came out here recently with all the stuff that they're doing. They were just blowing, things out of the water on graphics, on video clips, on just it impressed the heck out of me. And along with their reasoning, things like that. So I got into them as well. And then that way I have at least two that I can kind of look at and review. It's not just going by one, right? I want to sometimes I want to see what is this one thinking, what is that one thinking, and then also which one is closer to the most accurate data out there. So that's why I use two. Kaz says, everyone report the fake. Sebastian, thank you. Yep, report them. All right, so he's got a question here. Do you have a cat? I do not have a cat, no. I do have a dog. If not, when do you plan on getting a cat? 3, when can we see said cat? I did have cats when I was, in my early 20s. I did have 2 cats. I had a tabby, I think they're called, and then one was black one. The black one I called a little booger. I call him Booger because he was a little booger. And then the other one we called Nashida. I still remember those. Great cats. But at that time I had a townhouse, so I didn't really have room for a dog at that point. But I've been always more of a dog person. So, and then got kids, and then it's like we had too much going on. And then finally last year we finally got a dog, which has been a nice addition. All right, question, is dilution in Bitfarms expected? Not from my understanding right now. They haven't diluted or used the ATM here for several months, which is nice. They said that they are cash flow positive each month. They do have plenty of cash right now as it is. They are selling a little bit of Bitcoin as well. They're putting it on the hodl there, and they're buying back shares. So I don't think that there's any needed for dilution. They're also not looking to do any CapEx expenditures for this year or possibly early into next year as well, right? They have the $300 million loan through McGuire. $50 million has been accessed already, and they still have $250 million of that as well. So I don't think that they need to. Gary's got a question. Will you sell Cleanspark if they move into HPC space as you have them as a pure play miner and IREN for HPC space, or would you just sell IREN? No, I would, the thought process has always been Cleanspark staying in pure play miner. Okay, well, at least I have one pure play miner. I mean, they're the only ones that are pretty much a pure play miner right now as it is. And then IREN has been obviously great at Bitcoin mining. So we got mining and then also possibly HPCI. I'm like, okay, there's a plus side to that one. If Cleanspark thinks that they're going to try to get into HPCI, it's like, okay, let's see if they can get into it, right? At that point, I think the stock is going to probably take off if they do that. So it's like, why would I sell that or sell IREN at that point? Then it's going to be a battle between who can get the a deal first, or between all these guys here, actually. So I would just hold on to it. Andrew asks, do you think Matt was fired from Cleanspark due to not embracing AI? Well, it wasn't Matt. It was Zach. Zach was the one that was let go. Matt is the new CEO there. I think, I'm speculating that might be the case. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just speculating. The only way we're going to find out is if in a couple weeks or a month or two, we start seeing Cleanspark start talking about AI, right? That might be the case there. We'll see. All right. DeFly says, dude, BTC has not been flat. It's at 115,000. Miners been lagging since 55,000. Do we need to expect the rally? The miners won't do anything this cycle. Well, the miners got beat up because of the halving event. Yes. They always do. And then it takes them a while to recoup. So Bitcoin basically needed to get to 100,000 to double their revenues at that point to where they were before the halving event. So take that into consideration as well. Recently here, Bitcoin has been kind of flat. I mean, yes, we have gone up to 123,000 on it. But if we look at it here, it's been, where's it at? There it is, BTC here. And we got these steps happening here, and it's just going longer, right? We got a pump up here, we got a step where we go flat or actually down, then we go up, right? We go flat or down, and this is basically since beginning of July as well. So we've been going a month more or less flat, down in a bit, flat. So the miners at that point start going down in price as well, even though Bitcoin's kind of flat here. So what we really need is just a continuation of a multi-month, maybe slow uptrend like we're kind of seeing here, right? But just see it, 1% today, 0.5% tomorrow. We just need to see this to continue slowly going up over a longer period of time instead of having these kind of huge spikes, or not really huge spikes. These are much smaller spikes than we saw in 2021 or 2017, but just these pumps up and then we go flat, right? I mean, we got this for quite a while here. We had the halving event last year, right? What happened there? Bitcoin was actually flat, going down actually, and then we pumped up, got to 109,000, 107,000, whatever it was, went flat for a while, went down actually, and then we started pumping back up. So we are just now back above to where the halving event was, as far as revenues for these guys were, if they didn't change anything else out. And then we got Bitcoin going flat. So little pumps here, flat. That's not good. We need consistent move ups in Bitcoin price for the miners to take a really good impact from it, I guess. All right, that's just my take. It could be wrong. You might be right, as always. Okay, what else we have here? Okay, Andrew, you said a few months ago that altcoins were a terrible investment compared to miners. Do you regret that statement? Well, altcoins are starting to finally go up. Do I regret that statement? I mean, Ethereum is what, up 100% roughly in the last couple months, more or less. So it's done pretty good, right? We still have some miners, like IREN has done really good here. If you look where the miners were look at where the coins bottomed out and where they are right now. What is the percentage gain on some of these guys? And then look at where the miners bottomed out and where they are right now. Look at it that way as well, because we can all cherry pick dates that we want to submit, right? DeFi, is SBET undervalued? Seems like almost 1-to-1 value to Ethereum holding versus BMNR at 1.8 to NAV. I got BMNR right now at 1.3 with the latest edition that they bought in, and stock price as of yesterday, I think it was. So that one's looking a little bit better. SBET, I'm not sure where SBET is right now. If it is 1-to-1, what's the reason behind it? What's the operations look like? I need to look more into that stuff as well. All right. BS says, Bitfarms looks ready to explode. Strong Q2 numbers, 230 mil liquidity, big BTC holdings, and massive pivot into AI data centers. I see this moving fast to $45 in the near term. That would be awesome. Okay. Metagirl says, Sebastian, what I was saying was instead of BMNR, try Ethereum U. It's a 2x leverage position in Ethereum and runs twice as fast as BMNR. Okay. That is one way, but you're dealing with leverage there a little bit, but it's still not bad leverage. You're at 2x. I heard somebody talk about the leverage play, that there's also a delta on it or something like that you have to be careful as well. So that's definitely another way you can play it, yes. Okay. S8 says, your math is wrong about Bitfarms. If BTC hits 200,000, Bitfarms will be making about 80 million a quarter. Times 4, 320 million a year divided by 550, that's 57 shares with a growth at that plus equals about $20 plus. Yeah, I'm being very conservative there. I'm at 13. I'm at 50% of that as well. So that's kind of where I'm looking at it. Metagirl says SBET is definitely lagging. Yeah, SBET is like 0.7% multiple on the MNAV there. Starmelon says China can't be trusted. I would agree with you there. Gary says, their question, IREN has received first shipment of Blackwells and all received are fully contracted and already bringing in revenue. They have a huge demand for incoming GPU, just waiting for their arrival. Okay, so that was the H300s then, right? Gary, if I'm not mistaken. Gary, are miners operational positive so far on Q2 earnings, or will IREN be the only one again in third quarter? I think they might be the only one. I know you're rubbing it in our noses. I know. That's all right. I own them. That's why I own them. All right, Ed, did you hear about Jeff Bezos' backed space company now accepting BTC as payment? I did not. That's actually really good. I mean, if Tesla and Amazon followed suit, can you imagine the pump? Yeah, that would be awesome. All right. Okay, Sean says, just joined in. Was the Bitfarms ER bullish or bearish? Bullish, in my opinion at least. Can you give me the key points? When will they be up and running with profitable from HPC? Probably not until 2026 sometime, probably second half, I would say. That'd be the ideal time frame if we can get that. Other than that, they are not using the ATM right now. They are profitable cash flow wise each month, and they are buying back shares. They already bought back 10% of the amount allocated they're going to buy back. So that's good sign there. And yeah, things are looking pretty good. BSS, have you sold IREN recently? I have not, no. Yeah, I'm holding on to that one. Midway says, yeah, Bitcoin has been pretty flat, like 109 in January and 119 tonight, a 10 gain in some months. Yeah, it's been pretty flat. That's what I'm saying. Thank you so much for the super chat. Told you miners are future AI backbone. Vindicated. There you go. You were right. All right. Many people, including myself, are confusing Zach and Matt and vice versa. I know. It happens. I just want to point that out. Okay. Gary's, have you changed your view in the last couple of weeks on HPCI? You have always been more negative on HPC than mining. Now talking about price spiking for pure plays, moving to HPC. Well, it's kind of what we're seeing here, right, Gary? I'm still hesitant or skeptical on the ROI time frame for these guys. I need to see some data on it, I guess, right? I'm going off the conversation we had with Dan Roberts last year where he said the first GPUs that they had originally were like a 2-year ROI. Then a couple months later, he came out, they're looking more like 2.5 years to maybe 3 years ROI. So that's kind of where the data I'm getting from that based on what Dan said. And yeah, if that's the case, if it takes you 3 years to ROI on it, how much more lifespan can you get out of those things? And maybe another 2 years, maybe that's enough, right? But that, you're going to see diminishing revenues on it because you're going to have newer generation HPC GPUs coming out for that as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the, I think you have to be at scale. I think scale helps tremendously, right? I mean, you're seeing obviously Amazon, Google, and all these guys generating billions of dollars of quarterly revenue on compute, right? So I think you need to get to that kind of scale. At that point, it kind of makes sense. And then you can start making your own chips if you want, like Google and others, right? Where you bring down the cost even more. So there's a lot of optionality there if you can do it. Lucian Pop's question, Bit Digital with Ethereum and HPC through Wi-Fi seems like deep value. Thoughts? I mean, Ethereum goes up, then Bit Digital should go up in value, right? Because of the amount of Ethereum that they hold there. White Fiber has come down from its IPO. It is, where's it at now? I pulled it in here today as well, just to kind of, I thought I pulled it in here. Where did I put it? Let me refresh this, see if this works for me or not. But I thought I put in White Fiber in here. I did. Wi-Fi, there it is. Okay, let's take a look at it here. White Fiber, right, saw a pretty nice uptick here on the IPO, 25.13, got to a high, now it's 15.41, so it's down. What is that? Not quite 50%. but pretty close to it, right, from where it came in at. We'll have to see where it does going forward. Yeah, Bit Digital with the white fiber has smaller sites. They're a couple megawatt sites, and they have customers that are generating. They're generating what, $100 million a year on that right now, as it is, I think, roughly right around there. So they're going to be definitely looking to possibly get more. As far as Bit Digital here, I mean, they're at $3.03. They were at $4.49 here. We're seeing the same things kind of happen with all these guys that got into the Ethereum hodl or treasure companies stance. Saw a huge pump and then a decline here. They are starting to kind of come back up a little bit, at least. Saw that with BMNR as well. You saw that with Game as well. SBET, right? Pump and then a little bit of a dump there. So they got a little overextended, overhyped here a little bit. And they've come back down to reality as a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they do. But I like the fact that they actually did switch out or moved out the HPC part of the business into another entity by itself. Okay. Talked about that. Lucian, question. Your SBET PNAV takes into account huge dilution from yesterday. SBET, I have not updated that one yet, so no. Dammitverse says, do you see how laughable GPT-5 is? The reckoning that will come to markets when people realize AGI is decades away will be delicious. I have not, no. I know that the gains haven't been as great from GPT-4 to GPT-5, I think. I think Grok is still better at certain things, from what I saw here at least. Okay. Gary says the 2-year ROI changed because hoppers could run at all data centers. Less than 5% of most advanced data centers can run Blackwells. IREN had held off more than a sample of hoppers to go in all on Blackwell. Okay, that is also true in the beginning, right? But eventually others are going to come in with it as well. There is something to be first in the industry to run it. Yes, you do. You will get a little bit of premium. So maybe they can get 2 years out of those things, right, with the hoppers or with the Blackwells. We'll see. All right. That says it was called Blue Origin. Many websites reported that they are now accepting BTC, Ethereum, and Solana as a method of payment. Okay, well, that's great, right? More adoption is always going to be wonderful to see. All right, I think we're done here. We're going on basically an hour, 15 minutes or so. I think we're going to call it a day. I'm tired. I got to get some sleep. I got more work for you guys tomorrow to do as well with Hut 8 and TeraWolf. I'll try to get those things updated, and we'll see where everything else goes. But we really do need Bitcoin to go on a nice extended rally here instead of going up for a couple of days, a week or so or two, and then being flat for 3 months. See, Gary says, question, customer demand for Blackwells is much bigger than supply. I think that's correct. I would agree with that. Right, they're the newest generation GPUs, so yes. XAI is ordering a bunch of those things. Others are going to be buying that stuff as well. So, yeah, and NVIDIA might be the way to play it, actually. If there's such a huge demand for those things, NVIDIA's going to be making the big bucks there, right? And says, thanks, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. S says, cheers. Seb, cheers. Thank you so much for coming in, as always, you guys. Love you all. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. We'll see where we end up later on this week with Bitcoin and everything else. I really do want Bitcoin to go up, though. All right. Anyway, have a good night as well, everybody else that's in here. Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.